Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. John O'Brien's on vacation this week. I'm Dave Asher, honored to sit in for him. Stay tuned. We've got a great show. We'll be right back.
Let's face it, flooding is a fact of life. You may not be able to predict, but you can always prepare to avoid losses to structures, land, and even lives. Traditional protection like sandbags many times don't work. The new solution, trap bag flood and erosion systems. Low cost, great support, high stability, and load capacity. Easy to store and move with quick and easy installation. Protect your life, home, business, or land. For more information on this revolutionary flood and erosion system, contact Trap Bag today.
All of us at Shoeman's Custom Cycle are ready to get you and your Harley ready for the road. From oil and tire changes to high-performance engine upgrades and dyno tuning, we at Shoeman's have got you covered with experienced factory-certified mechanics and a full-service machine shop loaded with parts and accessories. Shoeman's Custom Cycle has been serving Northern Nevada since 1988. So ride on down to Shoeman's Custom Cycle at 275 East 4th Street in downtown Reno.
Shoeman's Custom Cycle, we're the biker's bike shop.
And we're back. Again, welcome to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. Boy, do we have a good show for you today. And joining us on set is our great host and benefactor, Hugh Roy Marshall, who always introduces why we do this show and the benefit to Nevada. So, Hugh Roy, welcome to the show. And let us know, I just love your introductions to every show, so go for it.
Thanks. Yeah, well, it's good to have you running this show again.
Thank you.
Yes, we do this show each week to tell you, everybody, why they need to be proud to live in the state of Nevada. A lot of people don't know that the state of Nevada was instrumental in the development of the United States at the time after the Civil War, because the United States was totally an entity without money. And Abraham Lincoln was able to get between $7 and $9 million from the Comstock miners, which actually paid for the debt that we owed to France, Germany, and England. Otherwise, we might have been France, Germany, and England. Now we're in a like position with Saudi Arabia, Japan, and Switzerland. But owing more than you're worth is never good. But we do this show each week because everybody makes a track on this earth. And the history of the state of Nevada and those that are making the history there today, like these gentlemen that we have, are what this show is all about. And to tell people not only what happened here, but also what is happening now and in the future. And we've been doing a pretty good job of that.
Very good. And so you bring us the support from the Silverland Hotel and the Marshall Mint backing the show here. So thank you very much for honoring Nevada and making sure that this show happens. And today's historical guests from a historical company, the Itronics company, is a Reno-based company out there at the Stead Airport. And we've got Jeff and we've got Dennis and Roger from the Itronics company. Both say hi. And then we're going to start with Dennis, and let us know what led you to being part of Itronics.
Sure, I'd be happy to. First of all, my name is Dennis Bradley.
Yes.
And I've been involved with Itronics now for a little over 3 years. And I was introduced to Itronics as an investor, and I have a frame of reference from Silicon Valley in hazardous substance process management. And I saw what Itronics was doing, and I said, this is a company I'd be proud to be associated with.
Wonderful.
I want to point out that Itronics is the only fully permitted photochemical, silver, and water recycling company in the country.
In the country, right here in Reno.
Yeah, they're one of a kind, and they're the only enterprise in the world that can do what they do. So when we talk about people making a difference in this world and what the Hugh Roy Marshall legacy will be about and the Itronics legacy and what's going on with Disability Resources, who we'll be talking about today, this is enterprises that are making the best of resources and making a difference in the world.
Well, wonderful. Appreciate that intro. And then we have Roger. What are you doing with Itronics?
My name's Roger Fennell, and I'm on the Investor Relations Committee. I was invited to join that about 15 months ago. My background is predominantly in resource recovery, including plastic raw materials, but also other types of surplus goods and resources as a whole that can be recovered and then repurposed. So I met Mr. Becklet, and he invited me to come to a few meetings, and I was accepted and started working in the investor relations area.
Awesome, awesome. Well, now we like to get the history, and Dr. Whitney's not here today. He's out of town. So why don't you're so well spoken on the subject? Why don't you give us the history of Dr. Whitney and what got Itronics going? Because it's very important for Reno and Nevada.
And for the difference that Itronics is making in the world. And it all started with that back in the late 80s, fish were dying in the Truckee River. Trout were dying. And it was discovered that photochemical processing waste was being discharged into the sewer system, overwhelming the water treatment plants, and surplus of it was ending up in the Truckee River, and silver kills trout. So Dr. Whitney got a call from Washoe County and said, hey, we got this problem. They provided him with a sample of the photoliquid processing waste, and he and his team invented a way to recycle 100% of the thousands and thousands of gallons of photochemical waste. And so what they do is extract the silver, the other precious metals, and then take the bulk of the liquid that's left and add a secret formula of micronutrients to create 3 different lines of Golden Grove fertilizer. That's the brand name. And tanker truckloads of it transport the fertilizer to different distribution branches throughout the western United States.
Right.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yes, significantly enhancing the crop production in California. I know they did some studies during the drought last year where they did an almond orchard and treated and all the water got cut back by a third. And this almond orchard outproduced the year that had the full water. So they're on the right track. What is it in the silver or in the photochemical waste that ignites and makes this fertilizer so popular and so successful?
Well, in actuality, Dave, that the bulk of that liquid, it's the most toxic liquid produced in the United States. So if it's not recycled by Itronics and converted 100% of it into value-added products, then it has to be contained in receptacles so it doesn't get into the water table and everything else. So just think if, now with what Itronics has done, they've been on a continuous improvement path of increasing production capacity, because throughout the history of the company, ever since they really launched the recycling business, the demand for their recycling services has far exceeded the company's capacity. And even today, Itronics only converts about less than 10% of the total amount of photoliquid waste. So they're on a capacity improvement process so that they can better accommodate the need. And at the same time, they've reduced their energy costs by more than 40%. They are the poster child for sustainability. And they're taking resources and making the most of them and converting them into value-added products 100%. They are a zero-waste mode of operation. Every bit of resource that they put to work gets used. None of it gets wasted.
That's amazing. So it's an amazing product. It's been at it for a few years, built a foundation for growth, and through this process, I'm going to read real quickly a list of awards that Itronics and Dr. Whitney have won. In 2000, Dr. John Whitney received the Silver Star Award for making a significant contribution to Northern Nevada's Truckee Meadows quality of life, obviously saving the river and Pyramid Lake. In 2000, Dr. John Whitney was selected as Nevada's Inventor of the Year. In 2001, Itronics was one of 5 finalists for the 2001 Kirkpatrick Chemical Engineering Award. In 2005, Dr. Whitney was honored with the Scott of the Year Award by the Nevada Society of Scottish Clans for his work to recycle photochemicals. In 2005, Itronics was awarded second place with the Worldwide Environmental Awards in London. Wow, that's just huge. Was awarded the USA Gold at the International Green Apple Environmental Awards in London. In 2005, the Golden Crow was named of the top 10 new technologies representing the best agriculture innovation by Canadian Association of Agri-Retailers. In 2006, Itronics was named an International Green Hero of the Green Organization of London, England. In 2007, Dr. Whitney was named Northern Nevada Entrepreneur of the Year in Agriculture and Environment. 2008, named the Green Company of the Year, Nevada Center for Entrepreneur Technology. In 2012, Itronics was named the Medium Entrepreneur Technology Company of the Year, again by NCET. And in 2015, EDON gave them the Industry Excellence Award in Manufacturing So those are great awards and great recognition for Dr. Whitney's work.
Outstanding accomplishments.
And Dave, but as you ran through the award history there, it's important to recognize that what Itronics and Dr. Whitney and his team have accomplished was not done overnight. The company is like 30 years old.
Yes.
It took 10 years and millions of dollars of development to create the recycling process that they have. And there's nobody else in the world that can do what they do.
And they're based right here in Reno, got the factory out at the Stead Airport. So they're hometown people, and it's just so great to see they're doing so well.
So what is particularly unique about this is the fact that he is bringing in all these different materials. Hazardous waste coming in the door, but then taking everything and using it entirely internally to the company. So there, as they were saying, zero waste. That's very unique in the experience I've had consulting a number of companies trying to find out what to do as far as resource recovery. And when I first walked in at a meeting when I was invited to be involved in it, I saw his drawing on this whiteboard, of what he was going to accomplish. And it was really astounding how everything was so uniquely patterned to make sure that there was absolutely nothing that was going to be harmful going out into any kind of public area or public use or any kind of air quality standards.
So he's a hero here. He's saved the environment as far as the water quality. He's bringing attention to Reno on the entrepreneur level, and he's just making the world a better place.
Yeah.
So what this is an intro for our show here to go to the next step. We're going to talk about the e-waste recycling. So what we've done is set the foundation for what Dr. Whitney has built, and now as investor relations, the two of you are seeing the potential of this company's growth in the future. What are you seeing?
Well, I'm seeing my garden grow, because what I did was I'm in my second year now, but I really wanted to see what would it do in my own garden. So I created a pattern of fertilization, using exactly what was suggested as far as the product, and just got phenomenal results. Both in tomatoes was one area which was really outstanding. I had one early girl tomato that yielded over 130 tomatoes.
Wow!
I have pictures. It's really
Really?
It was
So that's what sold you. Yeah.
But the other thing that was really impressive for me is I have some vines that grow, on a trellis by a fence, and they were dying. They had a lot of deadwood in them. I pulled all that out. I started a regular regimen of putting the fertilizer on them. They're in their second year, and they are just absolutely flourishing.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That's what it's supposed to do. So he just he turned a mess into something that is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Dave, it's great to get the consumer's report.
Yeah, that was a consumer report. Now we're back to the investor report. Now.
I even have family members that now are Golden Grow users. Anyway, from a business model, think about it. Here's an enterprise that the raw material that they're going to get to convert into product, they get paid to accept that raw material.
Yes.
And then they...
Instead of dumping it down the drain like they used to, which is now illegal.
So now Itronics takes it off the producer's hands. They get paid to do that. And then they convert it, 100% of it, into value-added product. Think of the business model here. Beautiful. And now on their continuous improvement path, as they've reduced their energy costs, improved their profitability, improved their production capacity, you can see what the future holds for it.
And we're just getting going talking about this great company, so stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Buy Nevada First Gift Shop and Visitor Center at the Reno Town Mall is the place to buy local Nevada-owned products. There is over 4,000 square feet of unique items to choose from. Art, jewelry, books, music, inventions, clothing, candy, pottery, toys, even Nevada-made wine and more. Why, you can even purchase a gift basket full of Nevada-owned products. Buy Nevada First Gift Shop located at the Reno Town Mall, 4001 Virginia Street in Reno. Buy local first.
Hi, I'm Paula.
And I'm Dan. We're the producers of the Tanner's Marketplace Antiques and Craft Shows at the Livestock Event Center on Wells Avenue.
I'd also like to tell you about our everyday location. We're at Somewhere in Time on South Virginia Street. We're Antique Antiques, booth number 46.
You'll find paintings by Nevada artists, collectible glass, vintage jewelry, Native American jewelry and baskets, antiques and unusual to unique items.
Find it all at Antique Antiques inside Somewhere in Time at 1313 South Virginia Street.
Come see us.
For your spring and summer wardrobe, soft pastels have arrived at Boutique Elegante. Wonderful sweaters, tunics, and capris create that special look. Bold and bright, the colors of summer in fabulous combinations of red, navy, white, or black. Beautiful chiffon skirts with coordinating tops. Imagine these fashions at your patio party, a day at the lake, or on a cruise. This and so much more at Boutique Elegante.
Hi, I'm Chris from Past Time at Somewhere in Time. Are you looking for that one-of-a-kind gift that you can't find in the big department store? I have something for all occasions. Got stuff? Need to know whether or not it has value or how to sell it? We can help with that too. Come and see me Tuesday or Wednesday at Past Time in Somewhere in Time at 1313 South Virginia Street in Reno. Just ask for Chris.
And we're back. Thanks for sticking around. This is Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. Dave Asher here, sitting in for John O'Brien. I'm just honored to be here. We've got Hugh Roy Marshall on set today, and we're talking about the Itronics fertilizer company based here in Reno, out at the state airport. And we've got Dennis and Roger here with the company. Tell us some more about the future of this company.
Well, Dave, as you mentioned, Itronics became famous as converting one of the country's most toxic liquid waste into the world's best fertilizers. But they were plagued with the seasonality of that line of business because growing seasons and when the agricultural communities really need it. So what happened was that Dr. Whitney and his team went on a whole research and development pursuit here within the last 2 years or so of how other alternative ways, alternative waste streams, they could use their technology to start harvesting valuables out of other waste streams. Mm-hmm. And hence the whole idea of all the computer waste and all the computer towers that are ending up in landfills. Think of all the precious metals that were being wasted. Mm-hmm. So they started into a prototype of e-scrap recycling. And because there's all the precious metals that are in those towers, and they struck up a relationship with a great enterprise here in Reno, Nevada, Disability Resources. Mm-hmm. And I know you'll get into some more of that in the show.
Yes.
But the idea was then that instead of the seasonality of the fertilizer production and revenue flows, that if they started up a fully robust e-scrap recycling process, producing more value product and extracting some of those precious metals and weave it into the fertilizer production and silver production, then they could have revenues flowing year-round. And now they've accomplished.
So you've taken this business model that you saw on the whiteboard and was impressed with it.
Yeah.
And so this Dr. Whitney is a genius. And now this new segment that we're going to go into. And Dr. Whitney's been around long enough to have actually worked with you, Mr. Marshall, back in the past?
Yeah, Dr. Whitney and his brother have had a company called Whitney and Whitney that they worked for me out in Ione 35 years ago on drilling out and developing a project of gold in clay. So I've had a working relationship off and on with him, and obviously very proud to see that he's making this great success with this company, Itronics, which a lot of people don't realize that silver is a very, very important metal for us. Yep. And a whole lot of it is not refined, but it is the digital metal of our age, and it's in every digital product that is made. Mm-hmm. It's the silver state here because of the Comstock silver, which became our dollar with the Carson City Mint. So historically, it was silver that actually initiated the development of the U.S. dollar and saved the country, basically. So silver's had a very historic role in the United States, and there wasn't any. The only silver was down in Texaco, Mexico. So they founded the Comstock. Everybody was overjoyed. Now we had something to make coinage out of the gold coins.
And hence part of your part of your intro in every show covers that, and now it actually applies even closer to home now with the silver production, pulling the silver out of the photochemical waste.
This state produces between 35 and 50 million ounces of silver per month and between 9 and 10 million ounces of gold per year. At least 70 to 80% of all of which is being refined abroad.
Yes.
Instead of here.
I saw the show with the Comstock about how we need to change that and have a refinery here.
We need to have a refinery.
Yes.
Good, yeah.
We'll put that on Dr. Whitney's list of things to do.
So we found a tremendous platinum deposits in the state of Nevada, and we will become a major producer of platinum over the next 5 or 10 years.
Wow, that's neat. Now, you had some samples that you were showing us earlier. What have you got?
Well, I go out and kind of as for a hobby and whatnot, find gold in these old mining districts. This comes from Goldfield. A piece of it just happened to break off, so I let it come off so you can see what's underneath it. But this is typical Goldfield ore, and you can see the black mineral that's with it. This is called famatonite. When you take the famatonite off of this, it's got gold all underneath it. Then our ores out in Ione occur in a reddish material that carries other types of minerals, but it's basically relatively solid gold too.
That's great. So what we're doing is, now how are we going to tie in that with what we're doing now? Because we're still after precious metals. So whether it's the mining style or pulling out of photochemical waste, or now with e-waste. So I know Dr. Whitney worked on this project on a method for chipping the circuit boards. We're going to talk about where the circuit boards come from through Disability Resources, but he was very innovative on getting a way to chip these circuit boards up. I know that the state of California, I think they commissioned somebody with $5 million job to create this, and they failed at it, and yet Dr. Whitney has produced a way to chip these circuit boards up in a fashion that you can pull the money out of, or pull the metals out of. What do you guys know about that?
Well, I'll just offer that as far as investor relations pursuits are concerned, that there needed to be parts of the puzzle put in place in order for Itronics to have the capability and capacity to really do e-scrap recycling. They started on a very prototype basis, but there were a couple missing elements in the whole process. Needed crushers, needed shredders, needed to break all these circuit boards down into the finest pieces so that then they could be fed into furnace systems and the meltdown and combined with the other metals that are extracted from. So that's what's been accomplished here in the course of the last, it's been since probably last fall.
This is brand new technology. This is new news.
It is.
We're introducing it today, the relationship with Disability Resources providing the scrap, and you guys got the way. So what are they taking out of it? What have they produced so far?
Well, the extraction of the silver, gold, palladium, tin, and copper.
Gotcha.
And amazingly, Dr. Whitney and his team are able to invent whole new ways of optimizing the extraction and the capture of these metals and valuables that otherwise would be wasted. And so it's the ultimate in hazardous waste, capitalizing on different systems and taking the valuables. Now just think if every company in the U.S. or in the world followed Itronics' example. You talk about sustainability and making the most of resources. And as we'll see with Disability Resources and new-to-you computers, they're making the most of the human resource also.
Yes.
Enabling people to work to the best of their abilities so that nothing gets wasted. Everybody.
Isn't that great? All this ties together.
Yeah, they help.
As he's going through this process of reclaiming the metal too, which is it's actually a small amount compared to the weight of what comes in as far as the e-scrap and the motherboards and the computers. But the actual backboard of those, the motherboard, is incinerated basically in a furnace that he redesigned to encapsulate all the energy that comes out of that and use it back into his processes to refine the other products. So he really has a unique facility in so many ways, and he keeps inventing, and he keeps expanding all the time. The expansion that he had recently allows to make more golden grow fertilizer, as far as complementing some of the other systems that he has in recovery inside the plant. But what the greater thing I see is that he has the capacity now to go worldwide, because he's been concentrated predominantly in the United States and in the western United States. Now he has the capacity and the quantity of the material to introduce it into the marketplace, having 30 years of history, all the accolades that you spoke about. So that's the next big step, is to start getting in.
Isn't this an exciting time for the Itronics company?
It's the beginning.
Very expansive.
Yes,
very expansive.
And Dr. Whitney's just a genius at this.
He is.
And it's only fair to the viewers of the program that they are able to recognize that Itronics is a publicly traded company.
Oh, yes.
And the symbol is ITRO. ITRO, publicly traded company. What the future holds for the price of the stock, you can let your imagination run wild.
Well, I'm aware of this information, and I will tell you, I have a self-directed IRA, and I put this year's lump into stock just a couple of weeks ago. I bought it nice and low, and I've already made a nice return. I know I'm an investor, so I could talk a little bit more than you people on the inner circle with the limited, but I'm telling you, this stock I think it's going to be a hot ticket here, and it's just so neat to have it here at home and have it be a Reno-based and have it be a Nevada company. It's going to shine for decades after this. So where do you see the future then? Is this the last of it? We got the e-waste, we got the photochemical processing. What else is going to come out of this Itronics company?
He's just going into new frontiers all the time. I mean, there are probably 5 different areas that he's already involved in that have shown very possible expansion into very specific markets. The revenue generator in the past has been the Golden Grove fertilizer, still is. Now there's additional capacity there. There's greater acknowledgement literally around the world. There are different marketplaces to be explored. There's already been feasibility studies, companies identified where it can go. So some of the other areas are more in their infancy, although they've been at them for a number of years. Dennis might know more about those than I do, specifically because he's been with the company much longer.
Well, thanks, Roger. The technology that Dr. Whitney and his team invented, as I said, the different waste streams and the different toxics and threats to sustainability that exist. Think of cadmium contamination. Cadmium is one of the elements in conventional fertilizers.
Not good for you.
No, cadmium kills you. Well, there've already been done field tests that Golden Grove fertilizer enables the plant not to absorb the cadmium that has been accumulated.
Wow.
And so then it doesn't end up in the finished vegetables. That's the cadmium. Think of cyanide. Think of the mining industry. You know this better than anybody.
You know that for sure.
The cyanide is one of the elements of the whole mining industry, and cyanide contamination is one of the consequences that they spend millions of dollars dealing with. It just so happens that one of the byproducts in Itronics production operations is CamTheo. And you can read about this. This is all public information. Read in the press releases. And CamTheo, they've already done field or lab tests that it neutralizes cyanide. Think what that would mean to the mining industry. Now, why is it not happening today? Because Itronics has been on a developmental stage of its life cycle, and working capital to get all these other enterprises underway. It'll be working.
Isn't that great? Especially with the seasonality that he had to endure with what the fertilizer sales, had him live with. So that's pretty much our intro on Itronics. We're going to come back with some stories about disability resources and how you two are working together. So we're on the track to some great news here. You stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Somewhere in Time is the place to find what will be treasured for all time. A store full of the unexpected, with one of the largest beer and sports memorabilia collections on the West Coast. Vintage toys, casino and brothel memorabilia, Venton glassware, kerosene lamps from the 1800s, sun purple glassware, vintage neon, new and enlarged collections throughout the store. Have fun with the whole family and check out all the inventory in the store. Find the unexpected that'll be treasured for all time at Somewhere in Time. Let's face it, flooding is a fact of life. You may not be able to predict, but you can always prepare to avoid losses to structures, land, and even lives. Traditional protection like sandbags many times don't work. The new solution, trap bag flood and erosion systems. Low cost, great support, high stability, and load capacity. Easy to store and move with quick and easy installation. Protect your life, home, business, or land. For more information on this revolutionary flood and erosion system, contact Trap Bag today.
Hi, I'm Paula.
And I'm Dan. We're the producers of the Tanner's Marketplace Antiques and Craft Shows at the Livestock Event Center on Wells Avenue.
I'd also like to tell you about our everyday location. We're at Somewhere in Time on South Virginia Street. We're Antique Antiques, booth number 46.
You'll find paintings by Nevada artists, collectible glass, vintage jewelry, Native American jewelry and baskets, antiques and unusual to unique items.
Find it all at Antique Antiques inside Somewhere in Time at 1313 South Virginia Street.
Come see us.
Hi, I'm Hugh Roy Marshall from the Marshall Mint, Virginia City and Reno, Nevada. Come to introduce you to the Let 'em Run Wild Horse Mustang series, which depicts the wild Mustangs herd running free, the mare and its foal, the wild Mustangs fighting for love. These ingots are a limited edition double-struck product on 1 troy ounce 3-pine silver and are only available at the Marshall Mint, Virginia City or Reno, Nevada. Get your piece of history today.
For your spring and summer wardrobe, soft pastels have arrived at Boutique Elegante. Wonderful sweaters, tunics, and capris create that special look. Bold and bright, the colors of summer in fabulous combinations of red, navy, white, or black. Beautiful chiffon skirts with coordinating tops. Imagine these fashions at your patio party, a day at the lake, or on a cruise. This and so much more at Boutique Elegante.
Here at Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. Again, Dave Asher sitting in for John O'Brien, who can just take all kinds of vacations. That's fine with me because I love being here, especially when I'm on set with Mr. Hugh Roy Marshall here in the Marshall Mansion. Isn't this a great story today?
You betcha.
Well, we're finding about Itronics,
Not
the
only
history.
green, but also healing.
Yes, all the above.
That.
Isn't that magic? So it's just so
Green
fun to have
healing
that.
makes it even better.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. Dr. Whitney, and he's put together a great staff. So that's part of his success. And we're giving him a lot of the accolades, but he's got a great team out there, and we know that. And that's why the company's doing great things. And they have a new partner for their new e-waste program that they've initiated out there. We've got Disability Resources here. Vivian and Matt, welcome to the set.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. And now tell us the history of Disability Resources and then New to You Computers, if you can put those two together. I know they're two separate entities, but how they work together.
Absolutely. So Disability Resources is the largest intermittent provider in Washoe County, supporting over 150 individuals with disabilities in our community to live independently.
Wonderful.
Yes, absolutely. It was started by a group of mothers who had children with disabilities and wanted the opportunity for their children to have equality, inclusion, and advocacy in our community. New to You Computers was developed about 18 years ago, and it was started for a funding source for disability resources to help support individuals with disabilities in our community. Through New to You Computers, we accept donations of e-waste, and we refurbish it, and we give free computers to individuals with disabilities in our community.
That's great.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah. Thank you. Free computer.
Now, and I've been one of those people when they have the e-waste events. It used to be at the Park Lane Mall year after year. The teamwork, the organization is amazing, but the way the public comes out and supported that, there's a line zigzagging of cars waiting to come to the e-waste event for a mile long. And I've been those, it's a very organized, you pull up 6 cars, you unload them, the people don't even get out of the car. You unload it, you put it on the pallets, then they move along and there's 6 more cars come in, and literally semi-loads of waste would have been in the landfill, poisoning our water and poisoning the water table for future generations, is saved, and it goes to you guys.
It does. We actually process 6 cars per minute when we do those e-waste events. So
Yes.
we're pretty proud of that.
That's right.
And we have collected over 1.5 million pounds of e-waste from the community from those events.
Isn't that neat? And again, the community came and supported you with that. They don't want to throw that stuff in the trash when they know there's an alternative. And we just need to keep getting the word out more and more and more and continue this e-waste recycling. And now you've partnered with Itronics here. What's going on with all that?
Well, absolutely. We feel that our partnership with Itronics is a win-win for the community. Not only does it help support the environment, but it also employs individuals with disabilities to build financial independence and workforce inclusion. In my opinion, that's a winning combination.
It's great.
Definitely.
So now these circuit boards or these computers are dropped off at your e-waste events. The truck takes them to your place. And then how do we get them in the hands of Matt? Matt's going to be one of the workers on those? Tell us what you do.
Well, I work for these motherboards. And these what you call them? It was like
hard drives.
Hard drives.
Yes.
Based in the front of the base. And the motherboard, I had to take these out, and the copper and the batteries and whatever it goes. And same with these passwells. So
do you use a solder gun to relieve them of the solder, or you just cut them off?
I just get like a wrench and pry them off.
Okay. So how many of you guys are working on these at the same time over there?
Well, we got a whole lot of motherboards back there.
Yeah.
So that's why we had to get like computer towers. We had to do like laptops, and we had to disable the towers and try to get these things on top of those towers that came out. So we had to get screws out of these holes somehow. So.
Do you like your job?
Yes, I do.
You feel like you're saving the world by keeping this out of the landfill?
Yes.
Isn't that rewarding?
Yes, because my friends is there. My family's always dependent on me. My mom and my dad. Well, my mom and my dad is Austin and Margot, and my friends is like always be there for me since I was a kid.
You have a lot of friends there.
Yeah,
don't you?
I do.
Isn't that fun? Yeah.
One of the things, do you earn a paycheck when you're at work?
Yes, I do. That's why I have to pay my bills and send my...
We all have to pay our bills.
Yeah, always. And I had to save my money for Christmas.
Right.
Camp Care Fund. And I do that all by myself now.
That's amazing.
So
now,
that
versus being, on the doles or on the payroll of the state.
That's right.
You turn that around, you become an income producer, supporting the state. So it's just a complete reversal, and that's what you guys do down there is give opportunities for people to take charge of their life.
Thank you.
That's one of the things that we're most proud of is I believe we're the first that provided all of the employees that we support there who are through this paid training program at least minimum wage or more. It is very different from many of the organizations that do a piece rate where individuals with disabilities can go to work 40 hours a week and possibly only make $1. So it was something that when we put this program together, we really wanted to ensure that they were making a livable wage and being paid for this internship. And that's something.
Do they work for some length of time at this job, or a short while, or it varies?
It varies depending on preference to the individual. Some individuals.
You guys are expanding your employee base, or?
We are. We support about 35 people in the program right now.
Oh, good.
When I first started this program, about 4 years ago, we had one. So we've really grown, and we're yes, absolutely, and we're very proud of it. Something like you had mentioned, Dave, less dependent on state and federal funding, and Matt is able to earn a paycheck, and he's able to pay his own bills, and he has purpose, and that's important to him. He's, a quality of life of equality, inclusion, and advocacy for people with disabilities, and that's what's important to us.
And one sentence that we blew over real quick in your description here, but I'm going to go back to it. You help provide computers. So these don't all get torn apart and chipped up and separated. Some of them are refurbished, and then you provide them for people that need them.
We do. We provide about over 300 computers a year to individuals with disabilities.
Great.
But what I'm most proud of is that the computers are built with the help of individuals with disabilities in our community. So to me, that's a great wraparound service that individuals in our program earning a wage, building computers to be given to other individuals with disabilities.
So those recipients of these computers now, they're online. The whole world is at their fingertips when it wasn't there before, but you built that bridge so that they can feel normal and access the world. And you must just have story after story. If you do, that's one a day practically that you're providing for the public here locally. That just is so rewarding. What have you seen come out of that?
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, because the way that I like to describe it is a window to the world, and that's really important, and that's exactly what this program does for individuals with disabilities in our community. We are not, the part of New to You computers, though, is although they come in and they learn valuable skills, it's also our intention to help them gain competitive employment in the community. Two of our most recent success stories is we had one individual who exited our program and got a full-time position at the Reno Tahoe Airport with benefits.
Fantastic.
And then we also had another individual who got a full-time position at Itronics and with benefits. So we're a building block. We're the stepping stone, and we're helping these individuals to gain these valuable skills, job experience,
That's right.
and to be able to explore other opportunities in our community and integrate into our community with other job possibilities as well.
That's just the neatest thing. We're just a TV show full of do-gooders here today. From what you guys are doing and what the Dr. Whitney's doing to help the environment. Isn't that great? This community is just so neat like that. I know there's other, I work with the Center for Assisted Living that helps people to live on their own. We do the Pumpkin Palooza every year. I'm part of that team that closes down Sparks at Halloween time. So it's just nice to see that the community has these resources that we can help people that need it to get on their feet and become just a gainful citizen and join the rest of us. And we're just a blessed community. It's so fun to have you. What else do you guys do down there? Well, you retail.
We do retail. We have a store that we, which helps, all proceeds benefit disability resources in our programs.
Is it in Carson or here in Reno?
It's here in Reno and Sparks.
Give us the address.
50 East Gregg Street.
Oh, okay.
And
so a lot of the stuff that's put in the recycle pile, you'll get a box of cables from some people. That's because I unloaded the cars. You'll get the towers. You'll get the monitors. You'll get the keyboards. So it's printers. So all of that is donated through the e-waste program, through the donation program, and then you separate that out, find out what's retailable, find out what needs to be recycled, and so you've got this wonderful retail center.
We do. We also, drop-offs are accepted at our building Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5. We also do many e-waste events in the community where we partner with local businesses, where we drop off bins. One of the most recent ones we did was with Rounds Bakery, and Rounds gave, every individual that came in with an item to e-waste donated, they gave them a free bagel. So we have amazing support from the community and our local businesses that really support what we do in our community.
What's the future for you guys? You've found what you want to do, and you're going to keep this going? Is there anything new coming down?
We're looking to expand. We need more building space, so we're looking to expand.
And more people.
And more people, to put more people to work.
That's right.
So there are great things ahead of us and great things for individuals with disabilities in our community.
Like him give you a call and join up with your program?
Yes.
Absolutely, and if there's anybody out there that would like to donate a building to us, we would really appreciate that as well.
In Reno or in Carson?
In Reno.
In Reno.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you've had it. You've got the Itronics background. You've got disability resources, New to You computers. We're having a great show. We've got to take a break. Listen to our sponsors that help keep the show going, and stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Let's face it, flooding is a fact of life. You may not be able to predict, but you can always prepare to avoid losses to structures, land, and even lives. Traditional protection like sandbags many times don't work. The new solution, trap bag flood and erosion systems. Low cost, great support, high stability, and load capacity. Easy to store and move with quick and easy installation. Protect your life, home, business, or land. For more information on this revolutionary flood and erosion system, contact Trap Bag today.
You have got to come and see our bridal designer collection here at Precision Diamonds. We bought our building, lower the overhead. That means everyday low prices to you.
Hi, I'm Paula.
And I'm Dan. We're the producers of the Tanner's Marketplace Antiques and Craft Shows at the Livestock Event Center on Wells Avenue.
I'd also like to tell you about our everyday location. We're at Somewhere in Time on South Virginia Street. We're Antique Antiques, booth number 46.
You'll find paintings by Nevada artists, collectible glass, vintage jewelry, Native American jewelry and baskets, antiques and unusual to unique items.
Find it all at Antique Antiques inside Somewhere in Time at 1313 South Virginia Street.
Come see us.
Hi, I'm Hugh Roy Marshall from the Marshall Mint, Virginia City and Reno, Nevada. Come to introduce you to the Let 'em Run Wild Horse Mustang series, which depicts the wild Mustangs herd running free, mirrored its foal, the wild Mustangs fighting for love. These ingots are a limited edition double-struck product on 1 troy ounce 3-pine silver and are only available at the Marshall Mint, Virginia City, or Reno, Nevada. Get your piece of history today.
Everything is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds.
And we're back to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. Dave Asher here sitting in for John O'Brien, taking that vacation. And we have on set Hugh Roy Marshall joining us with the story today about Itronics, disability resources, new-to-you computers, how great they are for the community. And now we have Jeff joining us, who also works with Itronics. Jeff has been on the show before, and now he's also on the Itronics team. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you very much.
What do you do with Itronics?
Well, with Itronics, I'm part of the marketing team too, also there, and the investor relations team. And I really want to just say thank you, Hugh Roy Marshall, for putting these shows on. I've actually been on the show before. Mm-hmm. I'm a 5th generation Donner Party. And
that was a great show.
Yeah.
That's the history of Nevada.
Definitely.
And for Hugh Roy to preserve the history of Nevada and be able to look back on these things, I can't thank him enough for what he's doing.
Well,
yes.
We appreciate it.
And it was a great show. You know, these are archived at the Nevada Historical Society up at UNR, and this is preserving history for generations and generations to come, again, with Mr. Marshall's blessings. So you had a great show that day about your background, but you've been with Itronics, so the company is exploding, the stock is taking off, and I saw you take the helm in this area in the marketing and with investor relations, and everything is poised with the team that you have. You're part of the team that's just going to lift this company up to new heights.
Oh, right on it. And yeah, one of the team members is Scott Terrell here, and he's been in the industry for 40-some plus years. And
the industry being
sustainability.
Yeah, that's what the word I wanted to hear there.
Sustainability background.
Yes.
Working 30 years in electric and water utilities with conservation programs.
And you were with Envirolutions here in town, a great sustainability education process here for you.
After all my 30 years of utility work, I worked with a few green nonprofits, helping the nonprofits with sustainability education and getting out there and helping young people develop careers and learn more about sustainability.
So what do you see when you look at the company like Itronics? What bell rings for you?
I'm amazed. And I mean, those of us on I'm on the investor relations team, but I'm not getting paid to be on the investor relations team. I came across Itronics and said, wow, this is an amazing company, because I've been involved in sustainability, environmental field activities for over 40 years, as Jeff mentioned. And, the success stories are typically, we got to take the toxic liquid, we got to put it in 55-gallon drums, we got to dump it, and we got to store it somewhere. It's like, that's great. You're getting it, out of the, ecology and the environment for all of us, and
first step,
making sure that it doesn't affect our health and so forth. So that's great. Itronics and Dr. Whitney have taken us way past that. We're going full cycle. We've gone from taking all these minerals out of the ground and we're putting them back in the ground. We've gone full cycle. So basically, instead of mining and putting together electronic equipment and everything and dumping it and whatever and putting it in 55-gallon hazardous waste drums, we're saying no, let's don't do that. And by the way, these are valuable resources. They can create jobs. And what are you going to do with these storage containers? Eventually, it's going to become a problem. So let's complete the cycle. Give us all this liquid toxic waste. We're going to go ahead and process it. We're going to take all the valuable minerals, elements, metals, all of it. We're going to take out of there, and then what's left is a liquid fertilizer that we need additional elements to complete it. And then so Golden Grove Fertilizer.
Available at the Buy Nevada First gift shop in the Reno Town Mall.
So come on. I mean, this is amazing.
Yes.
This is a truly amazing company. We're so proud of all the environmental work that's being done out there. These guys have gone 10 steps beyond that.
Isn't that neat?
We're taking all of this and we're creating jobs where we can recycle the palladium and the gold and the silver, and we can put it back in electronics. We can reuse it again. We don't have to go out and mine it again. We're mining it right out of the toxic waste. We're going full cycle here.
It's kind of why it ties into the mineral samples. Is you got it over here, you've got it in the circuit board.
And as Dennis mentioned, it's a zero waste company. So what you've done is you've taken a toxic liquid waste stream, you've converted it into precious metals, recycling, reusing, and liquid fertilizer, and there's no pollution.
Well, let me cap this, what I've learned from this show so far. Dr. Whitney's taken the poison photochemical waste out of our drinking water and found a way to reprocess that into, it's all gone. Then now we're taking e-waste, chipping these circuit boards, pulling the metals out of that, keeping that. Those metals would have become toxic. That would have ruined the water table eventually at the landfill.
Absolutely.
And then it just was touched in the last segment, the arsenic neutralization. In the mining process, they spray the land with arsenic to pull.
Well, it's cyanide.
Cyanide. To pull the minerals out of that. And he's found a way to neutralize that earth into usable earth again? Is it going to be that good?
Well, if I may,
actually
what I find fascinating about the cam thiol technology is it was invented off of one of the fertilizers. So what happens is it demonstrates neutralizing the cyanide while abstracting additional gold and silver out of the tailings, and then you can use it as a low-grade fertilizer to go grow grass. So you've taken something that everybody's nervous about that's in our environment, which is fascinatingly enough because of the cost behind it to maintain this waste stream, and you've actually put it into a cycle that not only makes the mine more profitable, not only does it neutralize the cyanide that the people are nervous about, but then you can go and put it on an alfalfa field and go grow more alfalfa.
Isn't that great? With less water.
Yes.
You know, we should also mention, too, that we're between 80 and 150 million ounces short per year for silver. So we have a deficit in silver.
So the demand is higher than the supply worldwide. And we're going to...
So we look for silver to double within the next 4 or 5 years.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, investors out there?
Well, from what I understand, Roy, is if they called the contracts that were sold out there through the investment bankers, they couldn't fill the silver. They couldn't fill it, yeah. So it's a real interesting thing going on in that area where all these people own all these silver contracts. If they would say, well, I want physical form, it's not available.
And the neat part is you have diversified away from the seasonality of fertilizer sales. I am a retailer. I sell it. It's been sitting on the shelf for 6 months. This month is flying out the door because it's spring. So it's time to put those tomatoes in the ground and give them a little shot of the fertilizer. And I'm looking forward to doing that myself. Just planted the tomatoes. I don't care what Peavine says.
Yeah.
There's still a little snow up there. It's time to plant. And it's time to use this fertilizer. And we have been selling it down there at the Buy Nevada First gift shop because that features all Nevada-based businesses. And we're so honored to have Dr. Whitney and Itronics in Nevada, and not only in Nevada, in Reno.
Definitely.
And what else you got there?
Well, if I may mention, Hugh Roy Marshall just came out with a new coin, and this silver that's being reprocessed and then refined can be made into these. And I think these things are beautiful.
Yes.
I mean,
so
that's our
the byproduct of processing this photochemical waste is silver bars.
That's right.
Silver bars.
I recently was out there, and KOLL News was out there doing a program, and they showed a 300-ounce bar that one of their small furnaces had poured. So, yeah, they
300 ounces. Yay. What did that weigh?
That's a tilt furnace.
Yeah. That's a big chunk of silver.
Right.
And then where does that go? Who's somebody going to pick that up that's in the electronics world?
Well, there's several different facets that Dr. Whitney's looking at because of what these boards are actually made out of. So there's different potential consumers in that area. But right now, from what I understand, what they do is they get sent out to a refining process, and that bar will have the different metals separated from it, and then they'll say, okay, you've got this much gold, you've got this much silver, you've got this much copper, and then they say it's worth this, this, and this for each one of those metals. So, yeah, and I don't know, if you'd like, I can kind of show you a little bit about this process.
Please do.
Well, what I find fascinating is, first of all, from what I understand, this is the largest waste stream in the world today.
Electronics.
So this stuff is winding up in our rivers, our lakes, our seas, China, Africa. It's getting shipped all over.
Yeah.
Okay. This particular material is made of 19 layers of fire retardant material. And because of the EPA, I believe, each one of these layers cannot have lead in it, so it has silver in it. So what they do is they take this through Disability Resources, New to You Computers, God bless them for what they do, and they assemble it in a way where Itronics can then put it through what's called a grinder. And in the grinding process of the circuit board, they literally put it into powder form. Now, Dr. Whitney says that silver...
You're one of the first to be able to do that to the circuit boards. They weren't able to successfully chip this up when they did that project in California.
I'm not sure.
I read about that. No, they paid somebody $5 million. It just ate up the blades. I remember Dr. Whitney when we took the tour.
I think I remember.
He explained that. It just ate up the blades in the process that they had, and they could not master what he's done out there.
Yeah, and if you look at these things, each one of these things, you'll see the metals that are on these that are available to be recycled. So when they grind it up into the powder form, then what they do is they feed it into the furnace with an invention that Dr. Whitney created. Two inventions. First, a glass-like substance that rejects metal. And second, a furnace that operates in excess of 2100 degrees Fahrenheit, which I'm told when you break 1950, it's like breaking the sound barrier. So they feed this material into these large furnaces, and when they feed it into it, what happens is the basis of it separates the metal, the glass starts to push it away. But I do want to go into one thing. This thing actually creates its own energy. It has a chemical reaction, and that's the award, one of the awards he won from Nevada Energy, is he reduced his energy cost by almost 50% because this acts as its own energy, which the 19 layers of fire retardant material form on his crucibles, which protect the crucibles that fuel the actual furnace because it's reducing its energy input, and this fire retardant material is forming a cover on it. When they pour it, imagine itself as a upside down dome. It cools. The glass pushes all the metal to the bottom. They flip it over, and you have a large dome, and at the top, you have this 100 ounces of metal.
Wow.
They take a hammer and they chip it, and then it pops off, and that's the metal that they feed into the small furnaces, and they make the 300 ounces. Where I'm going with this...
We got to wrap it up.
Yes. Is you've got the heroes of community.
Heroes.
You've got the Itronics team with Dr. Whitney. You've got New to You and Disability team with Vivian Ruiz.
Yes.
And here are the heroes of our community that are showing an example of taking something that is a negative value, as he said, a 55-gallon Gerald drum, monitoring it for the rest of our lives, or bringing it back into the community 100% recycled.
There you go. This is some of the most amazing things going on in Northern Nevada, and I'm so glad you guys got to learn about it at the show today. We're so honored that you stuck around here for Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. We have great shows. Stay tuned for next week's show, and we'll be right back here in the Marshall Mansion with another great guest. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.